Good day, those watching the recording too. And again, a day late, but the Monday market analysis was a bit delayed due to some health things, but we'll take it from today. Apologies about my voice, it's not optimal yet, but it should be doable for at least like a half hour. Just quickly, if I can get my Zoom controls out of the way. There we go. Quickly scanning the headlines for anything interesting. Pretty much the same stories. Omicron surges worldwide. Some Evergrande stuff going on again. They reopened the trading and they opened higher. There it is. But it's still looking like a dead horse being dragged along. Apple made 3 trillion market cap, so let's all try to flip Apple with crypto. That would be pretty good in the coming year. For the rest, not really. Founder of crypto lender should reach 100K by mid 2022. That sounds reasonable. But at least it's a normal. It's a normal price target being shared on normal media. Hey, peak morning. So at least that's good, not the crazy stuff going on there. So pretty normal headlines. It's a pretty packed week also for the macroeconomics, job opening and manufacturing PMIs today. Probably will be pretty stable. Don't expect that much from it. We've got the FOMC minutes tomorrow. Maybe the Fed will announce some change in their policy, but it's just speculating. Balance of trades, non-manufacturing PMIs, those PMIs are pretty good measurement of how the economy is doing, if it's growing or shrinking. And again, as always, it doesn't really matter what the numbers are. It's the difference from the forecast that is the market mover. European inflation rates, let's see what that ends up to on Friday, and payrolls and unemployment rate in the US also. So like every day we have some high priority news coming out. And most of it is at the US market open, except for the FOMC minutes pretty much. So keep that in mind if you're trading, that things could stall a bit in the hours before opening, and there might be a reaction on those news events. Just quickly skipping over the fundamental charts. DXY is still seems to be double topping out. It did have a bit of a bounce in the beginning of the year, but it got rejected again at this in the top of the range pretty much, where it has been rejected a lot of times before. So the previous support seems to be flipping into resistance, and it's definitely losing its momentum. We even exited the oversold areas of the trend, the overbought areas of the trend here. And are now in a Bollinger squeeze, volatility squeeze, but it doesn't look too great for the US dollar. But then again, that's usually a good sign for Bitcoin. Morning, Matthew. Stock markets still being printed to the moon. Nothing really changes there. As long as the Fed still does its crazy stuff. So this should give Bitcoin a bit of a push today if this keeps up. Dollar going down, stock market's going up. So let's hope it catches up on that. Gold is still looking, this is on the monthly chart, be aware. Gold is looking like crazily bullish actually. So I think Peter Schiff has a very good year ahead, because I am looking at price targets of 2,600. So that's why I'm looking at gold, besides trading it just because I like it. But gold is a very good indication if people start to exit the stock markets and risk assets, gold will rise. And just the question is, what will Bitcoin do on this? So it's funny enough that the last 10 years, gold has just been negative. We didn't see any bullish signs since September 11, you know, the 9/11 crash of the stock markets pretty much. So if you look at the monthly chart all the way back to the 80s, it kind of looks like a crypto chart actually. You got a lot of the IPO, nothingness, then you got a parabolic move up of pretty much 500-ish, 560-ish%. Then you have a retrace going all the way down to the 50%, like the bullish reversal zone. If conditions are bullish, you don't get to the golden pocket, but 0.5 is the best you can get. Consolidated, had a bit of a run up to the resistance, failed to break it. Now it's making that handle of the cup and handle formation. So long term, coming years, gold looks good, but still it's way too slow. But it's a nice indication of the highest time frame macroeconomics. Bitcoin on the monthly time frame, we are holding that support line so far. Let's switch to the weekly. It's a bit clearer picture. It still remains to be seen if we're in an ascending triangle or an ascending wedge. Bitcoin dominance is still pretty much flat. It's still making its third low on the weekly chart. And you see that we are in the potential reverse zone now on the weekly into the sequential, and even that's the setup. And we even got a 12 on the countdown. So it's more like the higher time frame setup. And when that reaches a 13, and that could be next week if things continue like this, or the week after, that's a very bullish potential reversal point. So BTC dominance does not look like alt season at all. It does look like Bitcoin will be king until we break, obviously, if we break these levels around that. Let's see if I can, around that 40%. If we break these levels, then obviously we will have a nice alt season, but the chart does not suggest that at all. So still looks better for Bitcoin than the other assets there. Ethereum to Bitcoin, that's looking pretty darn good actually. We're on the daily chart and we do have enough data points to make a wedge, bit of a wedge here, probably from just seeing where we can anchor it in the most sensible way. does look something like this, where we trying to break out and are bouncing now, and the target is the top of the wedge. So that would mean Ethereum could outperform Bitcoin by 8% in the coming days. High time frame, it looks pretty amazing still. Consecutive higher lows, forming that ascending multi-month, almost a year old consolidation structure. And it's now trying to break the trend line of the backtesting breakout. So it will be interesting to see what happens next for Ethereum. Nothing shocking on the whale front, pretty much flat. No surprise with current market conditions. Total market cap also, same story actually. We're still consolidating in this triangular structure. Hopefully we don't break down the 2 trillion. If we break down the 2 trillion, we got a lot of pain ahead. But as you know, these patterns are only valid once you break and confirm the breaking of the neckline. So pretty much the 2 trillion. We'll keep an eye on that. Just quickly looking at some economics, but I was hoping there would be more data on the money stock, but we're still in November. So I'm not really sure when we will get December figures on this. Same with the quarterly data for the 22 velocity. We do have inflation rates to come for December. Obviously, previous one of November was 6.8. So we should, I think we are getting those this week. So interesting to see what happened. As you can see, we are on the highest level since 82. So the highest level of US inflation in decades. And it's definitely breaking out chart-wise. So let's hope we don't get into 1980s levels of 60, 14, but we probably will. The Great Depression here. The beginning of the 1900s. We'll see if history repeats it. Just US bond 10-year yields, the classic hedge for one of the other classic hedges for inflation. You do see that it's been going up quite a bit, but also this January peak was quite significant already on the 3rd of January. So it seems that there is some caution in the market, which I can imagine with the stock markets going crazy. Looking at the higher time frames, no really change. Bitcoin's pretty much been ranging since beginning of December. So
Jürgen, your audio's died. I can't hear you anymore.
okay, I'm back. Should be audio. Okay, when did I fall off?
like 30 seconds ago. So the last
Okay.
4 set of charts.
So this one, probably somewhere.
Yes, that's correct.
Yeah, was not much to say about this. Just scanning for big ranges of divergences like these. And because we're pretty much going sideways, that's not really much going on this chart. Pretty boring. And the Fibonacci guns, we're pretty much following. We've been following this line, and we're starting to trying to break away from this descending GAN line. So that's hopefully we will stabilize on this GAN here from the wick. So I'm hoping we will get something like this and then a move up. So it will be in the coming week, should this side. Keep in mind that we are this looks like pretty much a Wyckoff accumulation range. I'll show it in the other chart. If you go to the daily, if you just, you have your primary and secondary test. I am actually anticipating the spring of Wyckoff. Let me pull up the Wyckoff accumulation. Where is the pretty picture I'm looking for? Just see if I can find one. There we go. So just quickly, if you look at the basic Wyckoffs, you got your downtrend, and then you get your support level with secondary tests. And then after a few tests, you do have a run up, then a spring below the support levels that's quickly rejected before going further up. Having that picture in mind, you see that we went down. This was a big wick, mainly due to the derivative exchanges, so it's safe to ignore that one. But you see we went in a downtrend. We are forming that support level here. So that's that support level here, pretty much. And then you can expect a spring dip down to really test the support. And it would not surprise me if that spring would hit these low 40K-ish levels. So I'm definitely anticipating that, especially with the recent price action. We're just getting rejected on the daily EMA ribbon here. We tried to break the ribbon, we failed, and now we're just hitting the bottom of the ribbon. So on the daily, that Wyckoff, we might get another hit of the top before getting the spring with a big rejection up, and then probably start accumulating up before we get a break up on these levels. So that could take a bit of time, obviously. So this is, if you look at the Wyckoff accumulation, then we are currently in this zone here, with double secondary tests of the support levels. We should get a wick to the resistance. So that is here. Get the first resistance being formed. That's this one. Then we had two resistance being formed, support being tested. resistance formed, support being tested. Then we should get another test of the same resistance level, dropping down to the spring and then bouncing up in zigzag accumulation. So the real party is once we break this 52, 53 range with some definite move, then we can safely say we are back in an uptrend. Looking on the daily, we are still in an uptrend, obviously, because we do have low, higher low, higher low still, and high, high, higher high, and now we do have a bit of a pullback. But if we look at the FIBs here, we see we pretty much strongly got rejected at the golden pocket, and so a spring backtest of that golden pocket is likely. Probably we still first gonna hit 52K again before we get that. So just on the speculation front, but if I look the daily chart, it does look like a very solid accumulation range. Going to the lower time frames, on the 4-hour chart, we got rejected by this support level pretty well. We do get count 12 already, so that supports the theory of another move to the 52K-ish level on the shortest time frames for me. If we go to the 1 hour, how does it look there? We pretty much get rejected by this old trend line that goes all the way back to the beginning of December dip. So that we have been floating around in this range a lot. But if I look at it, we are in a bit of a triangle also, trying to break out. Actually, you could argue that we already broke out and that we perfectly backtested the breakout level. Yeah, that's definitely an argument on the 1 hour here. We had a triangle, we broke up, we backtested, and now trying to bounce, but we are still getting rejected at this resistance level. So prediction based on this, we go up until this level before we have a very strong backtest at the low 40K-ish range before barging up. So definitely very tradable range. And let's see if it's really this kind of pattern playing out. If it does, and it does look like it, this will require a lot of patience from the market. So the sentiment is like bipolar already. And if you look at Twitter and stuff in all the Telegram and Discord servers it's bipolar. There's no other word for it. Like 1% up and everybody's lyrical, and 1% down and everybody is doom and gloom. It's like crazy. Well, if you just zoom out, then the pattern is pretty clear, pretty good. Don't forget, the longer it takes, the higher it will go. So I'm still remaining bullish in the higher time frames, as long as we don't break that 40K level with some volume or a candle close on the daily. We are just ranging, reaccumulating, and no doom or gloom, but also no party yet on the horizon. I did promise if we break 53K, we'll do a Zoom party to celebrate getting out of this. Because 53K, and if we confirm it, then we pretty much broke out. But for now, I'm still putting my bets on that wick-off pattern where we are currently here. So did I miss anything that I wanted to share? Not really. Ethereum is doing a bit better than Bitcoin currently. Does look pretty much the same actually, but just a bit better, which you can look quickly scan some alts. BNB pretty much completely correlated to Bitcoin. Cardano pretty much the same. Ethereum to Bitcoin, it's looking quite a bit bullish. That we discussed. More on gold, is still trying to reach the entry of this trade setup. A bit. We still have to break that red zone that comes from the previous all-time highs in April. But there's been such an important zone in the recent month, the recent year. It was very important in September to October. And this level is really, once we get in, this level is really important to break the 300-ish. Because if it doesn't break and comes down, you might have a huge cup and handle, head and shoulders on your hand. So that's one level to watch. But high time frame, once we break and confirm that 250-ish level, then it's definitely a good looking chart. Looking at Phantom, it's doing crazy things. Target is pretty much 3.45, 3.4-ish. We do have a bit of a pullback, but that's another like 20%, 15 to 20% to go. Also, it does depend on Bitcoin not dumping, obviously, like all the other alts. Quickly seeing what the alts are doing. Some alts are really taking a run for it. Some alts are pretty much in the red. Avi and Luna, the pullback, Phantom, Hex, Tezos, Atom, ICP. Some mid-cap alts are not doing too bad. It's a colorful scheme at the moment. So, but it is a very nice area to look for those high time frame support resistance flips. Like FTM pretty much did. Let's quickly scan some alts. Just quickly going through them. See if there's anything really amazing. It's a lot of the same picture going on there for many alts. A lot of them were at the value area. Anywhere else? Come on, really. Stupid meme coins. This just continues to be a really weird chart. How crazy is this? This looks interesting. See that massive reaction on that 8913 potential reverse zone, and boom, it went up. It's now at critical resistance. Don't know the coin. Destroyed. Too little data. Atom is doing great actually. From the double top, the dump, but didn't go that far actually. Perfect golden pocket hit. Look at that. So this had you see it was also clear resistance from this part of the year that it broke, confirmed. So we are too late to jump into this train, but there are pretty sure there are some alts doing the same at the moment, like XE. This looks interesting. Now, previous all-time high is now the support level. Let's draw 2 fibs here. Perfect 618 at the moment from the last move up. We have an alignment with the weekly. And almost a 50% on the even higher time frame. But this looks really interesting. Just have to lower the range here. It's too high for the daily. Probably 12-hour will give us, yeah. So money is definitely flowing into Axie Infinity. We are at potential 12-hour reverse zone. How are we on the daily with the count? Pretty much an unfinished red one. We had a bunch of harmonics around this level. 1, 2, 3 bullish harmonics that are still waiting for the floating around the entry price. We do have a 618 pullback. We are forming a nice trigger wave here on the market hyper. See if I can get a bit more trend momentum data. There we go. Yeah, there's even a bit of potential divergence because the candle bodies are pretty much at the same level, while currently the momentum is much higher. So there could be a class C divergence going on there. So actually, yeah, it does look pretty darn good actually, Axie Infinity. So this is a high time frame potential. Support resistance flip. See where we got to. First target is there. Long position. We are that's tight enough to do a nice leverage trade. Axie Infinity. Very nice risk reward ratio there. And second target would be pretty much here, just below the previous all-time highs. So yeah, that's definitely a very nice trade setup there on the high time frames. Just gonna quickly look at the lower time frames where there could be a nice entry. You could play safe and wait until breaking 98. That would be a safe entry. If you don't want to play safe, then we are pretty much at a nice entry level. If it manages to keep above that, if it goes 95, breaking this descending very short time frame trend line. So if we reach 95 and maybe confirm it, then you definitely have the entry that you want. So actually it does look pretty darn good. Badger, never heard of it. This looks like destroyed. This doesn't look too bad yet. That nice solid uptrend, and it's now pushing the pretty close to the resistance. This could be interesting, but it would need to break 1.4-ish. Bitcoin Cash, yeah. Not even considering it. Banker network token, never heard of it, but it is making a nice potential W there. There's plenty of upside potential. It's a bit scary though, so I would be careful on this one. We are trying to break the trend. Arguably, we already did and back tested it, but it's a bit hard on this price action. So yeah, there's plenty of opportunities if you scan the if you scan the charts. Like I think the Axie Infinity was the best one so far, and eGold on the daily once it breaks the level. This is at a nice level also. If it manages to break a bit more higher, but it's pretty new coin, so not much data on it. Celsius really got hit badly. So you don't really want to have anything to do with this below $5. If it ever breaks $5, it could get interesting. Chromia, never heard of it, but it does look like a really nice chart. Been trending up quite a bit. How far are we from 64%? I have no idea what this coin is, but the chart looks pretty bullish actually. Chile's also looking nice. That could start to do something as soon as we flip that. That's a 3.5. Alerts. So many weird coins on there. Zero is looking nice. What did we do? Yeah, we did hit the golden pocket almost. Well, depends where you anchor it, I guess. We are in a bit consolidation. Now we had the wick, with the secondary test, we had the spring, it went up, and we are now trying to accumulate up. So definitely looks like it could get another big push up there. Anyway, guys, that's it for me today. I gotta go. And thanks for being here. Talk to you later.